I became president in April of 2012. Being a leader means you are a servant leader. And being a servant leader means you fall in love with the people you serve, and they must fall in love with you. And for that reason, you must be prepared to give and give wholeheartedly. When I was very young when my grandmother first taught me the benefit of giving, the art of giving. She told me that you don't have to have too much in order to give. And I think in Africa, that's what every individual must understand, that it is us who are going to change the situation of Africans. And therefore, anybody can give. It doesn't mean you have too much, but you can always reach out and change the life of the next person. What we find most impressive now is that those that have succeeded in Africa, those that have made it in the private sector, for example, Dangote and the first 50 Forbes declared billionaires of our continent, have taken it upon themselves, have taken responsibility to say that Africa is about us, and therefore we shall take the lead before anybody else to give. That is the only way that our continent is going to transform, particularly in Africa. But for me, what is most inspiring now is the fact that it's Africans that are taking the lead. And so therefore it is very, very important that as we move forward into the future, as we strengthen our capacity to give, as more and more people get into the top notch of our billionaires who are prepared to be philanthropists and give more to people, there also must be guiding lines on how we can effectively do this, and so that at the end of the day, we benefit more from whatever is given. The lessons that I have learned is that as an African woman, we need to forge partnerships with those of our people who will help us from the West. But that it has to be mutual and in partnership. What breaks my heart sometimes is that you find sometimes philanthropists or NGOs from the West that decide to come on the African continent and believe that they're going to solve our problems, and then sideline us, and then do it wrong, and waste resources for many years, and then yield very little. I have found that when you partner, when we work together, we benefit the people we serve more, because we bring in the knowledge, the how, and the why, and our partners from the West will bring in the resources, and that way, that is the biggest lesson that I have learned. That as far as possible on this journey, I have benefited more by forging partnerships with those that have. I spent a lot of time with my grandmother growing up, and she is the one who taught me how to give. So what I find that pushes me is the fact that that's how I was brought up. I was told that the more I give, the more I will receive. And I was taught from a very early age that giving doesn't mean you have too much, that anybody in this world will give. Giving is something that you must build and inside you. Selflessness and generosity, those are values that must be inculcated in every child at a very early age. In my case, I don't even have to struggle to give, because I just believe that it's a responsibility that I must take, and that as far as I am concerned, the more I give, the more I receive.